Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is February 2nd, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament. We're in the book of Genesis, and we're going to read chapter 29, verse 1 through 30. All right, so Jacob has gone to seek a wife, back to Haran, back to his great-great-uncle's clan that stayed back in their old country when Abraham left. Now, we saw when Abraham wanted a wife from there, he didn't send his son Isaac back, he sent a servant back. Let the servant negotiate, find the wife, and bring the wife back. And they were adamant, don't send Isaac back there. Now in this case, Jacob has gone back there because he had to, because he was running for his life, because he tricked Esau and Esau wanted to kill him. But we kind of see maybe why they didn't want Isaac to go back there, because now that they've got the actual bridegroom there, well, now they're going to get a little tricky. Now they're not so quick to accept gifts and get rid of the woman to be the bride. Hey, they're going to make you work for it. They're going to see how much they can get out of you before they let you get away. Some more parallels. It doesn't necessarily say it's the same well that the servant went to, but same situation. He gets to a well. They're watering the flock. Who's this beautiful woman coming? Why, that's the daughter of Laban. That's one of the relatives. That's one of the people that you need to talk to see if that's woman. You know what? That's the first one. That's it in Jacob. So at least the servant had a plan. Jacob just sees the first one, falls in love. That's her. Can't be convinced otherwise. And I said, this time Laban, now that he's got Jacob there and not a servant, well, you know what, if you work 7 years, I'll let you marry my daughter. Okay, works the 7 years. They get him drunk. They give him her sister Leah. He wakes up and says, hey, what is this? You guys tricked me. Oh, shoot. Well, it's our custom that you have to marry the oldest one has to get married first. I'll tell you what, you work another 7 years, I'll let you marry my other daughter. So they get 14 years out of him. And then they still don't want to let him go, but eventually he says, that's enough. You've got everything you're going to get out of me, and he leaves. But for us right now, we're going to see that Jacob meets Rachel. He ends up married to Leah and her sister. We see, going back to the old country. Well, that was probably a good idea for Abraham not to go back there. God doesn't want anything more to do with it other than to get a marriageable person out of here who's not in this land of the Canaanites. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Genesis chapter 29, verse 1 through 30. So Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the people of the east, and he looked and saw a well in the field. And behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. A large stone was on the well's mouth, and all the flocks would be gathered there, and they would roll the stone from the well's mouth, water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. And Jacob said to them, my brethren, where are you from? And they said, we are from Haran. And he said to them, do you know Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, we know him. So he said to them, is he well? And they said, he is well, and look, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. Then he said, look, it is still high day. It is not time for the cattle to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them. But they said, we cannot until the flocks are gathered together and they have rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. Now while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative, and he was Rebekah's son. So she ran and told her father. Then it came to pass, when Laban heard the report about Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. So he told Laban all these things. Laban said to him, surely you are my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be? Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful of form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled that I may go in to her." And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a great feast. Now it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to Jacob. He went into her, and Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a maid. So it came to pass in the morning that, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It must not be done so in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give you this one also for the service which you will serve with me still another 7 years." Then Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. So he gave him his daughter Rachel as wife also. And Laban gave his maid Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a maid. Then Jacob also went into Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served with Laban still another 7 years. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.